Hello and welcome back to this Java course. Today we'll go through single line and multi-line comments in Java. We'll go through variable scope and we'll also look at do-while loops. Okay, so we'll start with single line comments in Java. As you can see, this is the code from our previous lecture, and I'm gonna write this sentence in here. I'm gonna use 2 slashes for a single line comment. So they are usually used for short descriptions. You can write basically anything you want because Java will not consider it as part of the code. So I'm gonna write here the following code is part of our previous lecture. And for today's lecture we're gonna need the scanner object, but I'm gonna change here the name to value. We won't use these 3 lines in this lecture. We could delete them, but instead I'm gonna comment them out and Java will not consider them part of our code. So to make a multi-line comment in Java, you can do a slash asterisk, and this is used to open the multi-line comment, but we must close it. So to close the multi-line comment, we're gonna use asterisk slash. So now the lines in green will be part of the comments. Now we'll move on with our code and we can totally ignore the text within the comments. However, this line in here was not commented out, so this will be part of our code. And now to explain to you the do-while loops, I'm gonna take a task as an example that is usually assigned to beginners in Java, and the task is to ask the user to enter a number. Ask with a loop and don't stop asking until they enter, for example, the number 9. So let's see how we could do this with a do-while loop. Now, in case you get confused with the code within commented lines, because this was only for the sake of telling you how to comment out code that you don't need, but you don't want to delete either, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete it just in case you get confused with it. Now let's move on to our do-while loop. A do-while loop looks like this. There is a keyword do, and you open curly braces. When you hit enter, the Eclipse autofills the closing brace. Within these 2 braces goes the code that you want to execute. Then you have the keyword while, and within the parentheses there will be the condition, and at the end you have a semicolon. Now let's analyze the requirements. The task was to ask the user to enter a number until the number was 9. So here I'm gonna say sysout, control space. I'm gonna write enter a number. Then in our condition I'm gonna write number not equals to 9. So whenever the number is not equal to 9, our condition will be true and the code within our do block will execute. And the moment that the number will be 9, the loop will terminate. What we haven't done yet is declare this variable number. If you are a beginner, you would be tempted to declare it in here, in number 0. Now if you do this, you'll have an error. You always have to keep in mind variable scope. There is a very easy way to remember what variable scope is. Just focus on the curly braces that you've declared the variable. You see that the int number is declared within these 2 curly braces. If you do this, you could only use this variable within these 2 curly braces. So you cannot call this variable in here, outside these curly braces. So this is called local variable. If you would like to use the variable within class, it's best to declare it within these 2 curly braces. So if you do this, you could call the variable anywhere within this class. But if you declare it within curly braces of a loop or within curly braces of a method, which we'll see later on in this course, you can only use that variable within the curly braces that you declared it. So now we have correctly declared our variable and we're going to use it within the loop. we're gonna assign our variable to our scanner object. And down here, I'm gonna write some more code. And this statement will be executed when this condition returns false. So I'm gonna say right here, you got 9. Now to make a correct format, click Ctrl-Shift-F. And let's see if our code works well. And here we have enter a number. 5, enter. It will ask us again to enter a number. If we enter 7, it will ask us again. 1, it will ask us again. But if we enter 9, you got 9. So it works as expected. So that's it for this lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture. So until then, happy coding!